different. I think with the experience of having gone through it once, obviously there's excitement, but there's also a level of just want to play and not really worry about anything else. So I think the excitement level is definitely there, but I think probably a calmer group going into this one.
Darnell, when you look at the effort you guys put together defensively in Games 6 and 7, what were the contributing factors to that, and how do you kind of look to make sure that transitions into Game 1?
I think just our attention to detail in the D zone, keeping things to the outside, and then obviously our track game and being above the forwards there in Game 6 and 7, that was huge. It allowed us to maintain good gaps and then obviously defend better. So it's got to be paramount because we're playing against a really good team here in Dallas, and a team that has a lot of offensive weapons and can make you pay if you're not detailed in your defensive game. So it's going to be a really good test.
What do you see the difference in their power play than what you saw? Like Vancouver, obviously you guys did a great job of just limiting the zone entry specifically. Dallas is a little bit better at getting in the zone. What challenges do they present once they're set up that's maybe different than Vancouver?
Yeah, a lot of big strong bodies down in front of the net that are good at getting tips and sticks on pucks. It's and then the same on the flanks and up top. A lot of dynamic players, so they present a lot of different challenges. And then for us as a PK, I think we just got to maintain our confidence and our strength as a group, and just go and play to our strengths.
They shoot more. Like Heiskanen's got 3 power play goals, and he just shoots more on their power play than a lot of teams on the point. How does that change? Like can you box out as much on a penalty kill when usually you have one less guy? How do you approach that on a team that's a little bit more of a shoot from distance?
Every situation presents different opportunities. I think it's just more reading and reacting. Sometimes the box out's there, sometimes it's getting in the lane in front of the puck. So it you don't go in with a script. You kind of just be instinctual out there, and I think that's what makes our kill good when we are good is just playing off instinct and not trying to script too much.
Darnell, how do you handle Pavelski in front of the net the way he tips the puck as a defenseman? Boxing him out is fine, but he seems to always get his stick in the way of the shot.
Yeah, no, it's obviously tough. He's had so much success in this league for so long because his ability to tip the puck, and even when it seems like he's boxed out, he's able to get sticks on pucks. So another one of those things with each opportunity and each different situation, there's got to be a different way to play it.
Darnell, 2 years ago, you're pretty banged up in that conference final. Same with Leon. I assume you're at least somewhat healthier this year. As an individual, do you notice a difference and you just feel more confident knowing that you're able to play to your capabilities and you don't have a real nagging injury? How does that change maybe even your mindset or approach to the series?
Just wanting to get to your capabilities and play the capabilities, and not worry about anything else. I mean, anytime you're going through things with an injury or whatnot, there's always a second thought or in the back of your mind that playing throughout the series, but. When you're not dealing with that, you just go out there and play free and try to maximize your capabilities and play the best you can.
They're big games, and whenever you can contribute, it's great. And to see us pull through in those games is awesome. I mean, whole series on the line, so it's fun to win those games.
Would you have turned around to Paul Coffey and said, "I got one on you now"? I don't think you got goals in games now. I don't think.
No, but I did see that stat after, so I might have to let him know. But a lot of credit to him. He's had a lot of confidence in my shot, getting me to shoot more. So, a lot of credit to him.
Cody, they switched the D pairs after Game 4. I know you guys have played together beforehand, but not only did they switch the D pairs, the minutes pretty much were almost even across the board. What did you feel of the switch, and is it just a reset, as a coach mentioned?
Yeah, I think it's just a little shake-up. We did it earlier in the season too, and I think it was good that we did, so we're comfortable playing with everyone, and allows us to have that depth and even out the minutes. A couple guys were sick throughout the series, so just to have that and even out the minutes kind of helped everyone out, and I think it did a good job for us.
You look ahead to Dallas now. They got a little bit more team speed overall than Vancouver had. How do you approach it? What are you expecting that's different coming up than maybe you haven't seen in the previous 2 rounds?
Yeah, they're a great team off the rush. We saw that in season, and we've seen it in playoffs too. So that's something we're gonna have to keep an eye on and trying to slow them down and just make sure that everyone's above their check coming back.
Cody, you guys really held Vancouver in check the last 2 games in particular. Can you just kind of comment about what you guys did in those last 2 games, and if you feel that kind of gives you some momentum heading into this series?
I thought we just did a good job of holding on to pucks, shortening the rink on them, just being able to shorten the rink and just keep taking it to them. I mean, credit to them. They had great pushes at the end of those games. They were down, and they put us on our heels a little bit, and maybe a little bit too much at times. But yeah, I thought we did a good job of coming out strong in Game 6 and 7.
What did you learn from a few years ago? You made it to the conference final, but unfortunately didn't win a game. What is it? Just that it ratchets it up even more now, and you're kind of aware of that heading into this series?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's only 4 teams left now, and everyone's here for a reason. They're all great teams and know how to win games. So it just gets tougher and tougher, and we're going to have to bring our A game.
So in Canada's last team standing, all the people back in Ontario and stuff, they're all pulling for the Oilers now. Is that how you look at it?
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to be Canada's last team. You get pulled from that many more people, and it is a little more pressure, but at the same time we got to enjoy it and embrace it.
Do the bruises from all the block shots count as badges of honor at this point? Who's got the most?
Yeah, I think everyone's done a great job of blocking shots when they have to, even our top guys. So right now the trainers are doing a great job of just taking care of us and making sure we're ready to go for game time.
Is there a trick to it? Is there?
Not really. I mean, everyone's just ready to put any body part on the line right now.
Well, you guys had a long break between the first and second series, not nearly as long between these 2 series. Which one do you prefer? Do you care?
I almost thought the break was a little too long between the last 2 series. Just too many practices and kind of overthinking. So we don't have much time to think now. Hopefully we can roll our momentum into Game 1.
So when you're playing your series, would you have been watching Dallas games at all to say, okay, one of these 2 teams we could be playing, or do you now the team's broken down the film and then you start looking at Dallas?
Yeah, I think just especially on the road, we all hang out with each other in the players' lounge or the meal room and watch all the other games. So we've been keeping an eye on every series, and we know they're a great team, and we know how dangerous they can be off the rush, and so we've been keeping an eye on them for sure.
So do you throw away that last game they beat you 5-0 and say, yeah, it's just one of those games?
Yeah, I mean we had to do the same going into that Vancouver series, so that won't be anything too new for us, but we do have that in the back of our minds that they are a good team and they can make you pay.
So you mentioned Coffee telling you to shoot more, to tell you to defer from passing, or you used to be shoot the puck when you were a junior.
Yeah, I think just having him and having his offensive mind, he's seen my shot and just wants me to use it as much as possible. So he's got a good eye for the offensive side of the game for sure.
If it is convincing the coach or the doctor that you're ready, or how does that work?
Just take it day to day. It was great to get out there and practice with the guys. It's painful watching. So we just we're all on the same page as far as where we're at and how we're going about things, and just again taking it a day at a time.
Did you re-aggravate it in games?
No, we're just again it's day-to-day kind of thing, and I think we've been on the same page every day of how we're going about everything, and as far as the coach and the staff and myself. So I think we've made all the right decisions up to this point, and hopefully that continues.
So when you got hurt against LA, were you thinking, oh, it's just a minor thing, we'll be back next game, or did it just get worse?
Again, it was just kind of day to day, take it day at a time and see how things progress. And, you're always hopeful that things will progress in the right direction and quickly. And this time of year, you don't have a lot of time. So it's, you're kind of fighting that enemy at the same time as the schedule and how everything's feeling.
You had a Game 7 experience your first year. You scored a goal, I scored 2, including the overtime winner. Can you compare, you're in the game, and obviously it's intense and nervous, but when you're sitting upstairs, how much worse is it?
It's way worse. I don't do well just sitting there watching, so I'm kind of pacing around and doing things while keeping an eye on everything, and it's not a great feeling. It's when you're playing, you're in the game, you're in the moment, and you have control. And when you don't have that control, it's hard to take. You obviously trust the guys, and you try to do everything you can to you think you're making a difference if you're superstitious doing this and that, but there's, you're just out there watching. So it's that's the toughest part.
So you're a pacer, you mentioned. Now, are you somewhat of a cursor when you're watching the game like that?
No, I'm pretty quiet. It's but and then everybody. It's funny watching with guys and staff and people and see how they react to different things, and you can tell some people are more stressed than others, and it doesn't bode well for me hanging around those people. So try to avoid them and deal with my own insecurities watching.
Adam, is it difficult? This injury had happened to you in regular season, you can think, it's a long season, I'm out a month or whatever. When the playoffs, the games come so fast, you're thinking, oh man, I got hurt in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, and that's that thing. That this is the time of year that everybody's fighting to play all season long. So it's unfortunate timing, and again, the games are just coming out every other day, and there's not really a break until unless you're fortunate between series if you get through one pretty quick or not, and then it's a quick turnaround. So time ends up kind of being the enemy.
Adam, you know Dallas quite well. What do you think are going to be the keys in this series? Like a couple of the keys for your team to win.
I think especially the last couple of games, the guys who play the complete game, both sides of the puck, that sort of thing. They're a deep team. They're coached well. I think these series, they always come down to those small details and those little mistakes that can end up costing you. So I think just playing that detailed game and then just playing with confidence like the group has been. So I think that's going to be key for us, and just playing with that pace that we can play with.
You were in Anaheim when Sam Steele was there.
Yep.
Now he's an ace penalty killer. And did you see that in him when he was in Anaheim, or was he trying to be an offensive player there?
No, he's a great player. He's a great young kid there. Unfortunate. I mean, everybody goes through different, situations with whether it's contract, new staff in and out, who drafted who, and that sort of thing. And he's a great kid, great person. Works extremely hard off the ice, and you can see it on the ice too. He works very hard on the ice. Good face-off player. He's smart. It's great to see him doing well and finding himself a role in Dallas, and certainly glad things have worked out for him at this point.
In the series, whether that's game 1, 2, or 3, we'll definitely be seeing him at some point.
When you look at him and what he could bring to your team, like your third line, you're just looking for a little bit of offense. Do you have an idea on where you'd want to play him?
Not right now. Obviously, he adds a lot to our team, whether that helps us with our second unit power play, the penalty kill, or probably more importantly, a little secondary scoring. And, whether we put him up on, top two lines, he spent time with Leo, he spent time with Connor, or he helps out the secondary scoring on third or fourth lines. It probably depends on what we need at the moment. And, it'd be a nice addition when he is ready. And unfortunately for us, he hasn't played for a while, but when we do have him in the lineup, he'll definitely give us a little push.
So was this him talking his way back into playing that one game? Because he played the one game earlier and then couldn't play after that.
And that had a lot to do with the situation on a lot of players, on a lot of question marks. And right now, maybe we could have had him in and felt that we've got healthy bodies, that he could spend some more time in resting it and getting 100%. The game that he did play, we had a lot of question marks, and maybe put him in maybe sooner than we needed to. And so right now, very fortunate we're moving on to the second round, and now we got a guy that will be able to help us this series.
Chris, you look at this matchup, and Vancouver had a real big, heavy defense core. Dallas not so much, but very mobile. How do you plan to attack them, maybe, or how do you hope that you can attack them different than you did against Vancouver?
Yeah, they're maybe not as heavy as the Vancouver defensemen, but definitely mobile, long, lanky. They have reach. They can break up plays. I think both teams' defenders are very solid, make it difficult to score. How they do it, maybe a little bit differently. For us, just winning battles, probably not as much have the speed advantage as maybe we did against the Vancouver series, but yeah, we're going to have to find a way to do that.
You guys were very good the last 2 games against Vancouver defensively. Is that the way you kind of need to play in this series to give yourselves the best chance?
Through the playoffs, every team that has success is good defensively, and we have to be a tight checking team and limit our chances that we give up. And we know as a team there'll be mistakes and there will be chances, and the other team has some really good players that they'll make some plays. But we cannot get away from playing a tight checking game and limiting the other team's chances that they get.
You've had the best PK in the playoffs at this point. Has there been any difference between the playoffs and the regular season in terms of your penalty kill, or have you noticed anything different?
Well, I think, second half of the season, certainly from December through the end of the season, we had one of the better penalty kills in the league. I don't know, top 5 or 6 probably. And they've just taken it to another level through the playoffs. And I think it's just the urgency and playing on their toes, and got 4 guys on the ice, anticipating on what the other guys are being able to do, and getting some big saves when we need them.
Was that second round series, was that some of the best hockey you've seen from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
I don't know. I've seen Ryan play some really good hockey through the regular season and through the playoffs. Probably for all facets of the game. The power play, the 5-on-5, and then especially how well he's done on the penalty kill through these series. And yeah, probably that. But I've seen him do those things really well through the regular season. But all 3 of those aspects right now probably his best.
Chris,
Vancouver played center against center. Do you anticipate that Dallas would just put one of their better defensemen against Connor and Tanev against? They're more.
I'm sure they will have their matchups. They've got a question mark. Their number 1 centerman being questionable on playing. Whether he returns, I don't know that situation. I would think he would have a lot to do with their matchups. As for the defense, I know they've got 5 defensemen that play a lot of minutes, and I would think they probably feel comfortable having any of those guys out on the ice against our top players. So they're pretty deep, and they've got a lot of good players. I can't look into that too much right now because we don't have the last change. We'll be just trying to play our best.
Chris, you after a game, you switch your defense. Kulak and Ceci weren't on the ice for a goal against, and they played actually the most combined minutes as a D pair. What did you like from those changes that you saw? And maybe were you expecting it to be that good?
I don't think it was necessarily a change to change the chemistry between the pairs. I think it was more of just a reset and get guys focused and playing better individually. And we had some minuses racking up against a couple of defensemen, and just a lot of that plus minus is sometimes often skewed just because of not getting a save or a big breakdown or whatever. Just a lot of unfortunate events in a short period of time. It's not usually an indicator of how they're playing. The reset I thought was good. I think our guys really stepped up, especially the last couple of games. Darnell really played well on both ends of the rink. Cody really stepped up, played well in the last couple of games, especially with the key goal there in the Game 7. I'm sure during the series, probably go back to the other pairs, but right now we'll just play by ear.
So this go ahead. This is standard in the game, right? Teams seem to take maintenance after every game.
Yeah, it's playoffs right now, and right now, not working on very much during practices, just because of rest is so important right now. And right now, I think it's the most important for all our players to be as healthy as possible for the games.
Just get you going in as a plan to play Skinner the whole way through, or do you have some sort of rotation?
Ideally, we've got Skinner running right through the end of the season, and because rarely does a coach change his lineup or after a win, and especially a starting goalie. So if we just continue to win, I don't see any reason to change it. Of course, we're not anticipating to just run the table and win games all the time. We'll depend on how everyone's playing. Forwards, defensemen, and goaltenders. We'll be putting out the best lineup out there that gives us the best opportunity to win.